Okay. Hello once again and welcome to Camtasia. We're going to be showing you something basic here, something simple, with using our old friend PowerPoint here. In the chapter dealing with the French-Indian War and American Revolution, I'm going to have students create a flowchart. You could call it a timeline, a time chart, flowchart, whatever floats your boat there. And students are going to research 6 to 7 events that led up to the American Revolution. Okay, they don't all have to be events. Maybe it's a law that was passed or something that happened that all helped lead up to the American Revolution. So in our PowerPoint, we have a blank slide here. We're going to go to Insert, and we're going to keep it basic. We're going to just utilize just a few features of PowerPoint here. So on the Insert tab, all we're gonna do is utilize insert and shapes, and this is the same as in 2007. I'm using 2007 here. That's the available resource I have. It's the same as in 2010. So we're gonna use shapes, insert a shape, and something simple, a little rectangular shape. Utilize that one there. You can choose any shape you like. We're gonna insert a basic shape. We can adjust the shape, of course. Grab the handles. Okay, make it as big or as long as you like. Move it anywhere you like. I would suggest one of the top right corners, excuse me, top right or left corners of the PowerPoint slide. Alright, so we're going to insert a shape, basic shape like that. And you can go right into typing. We can call this start point. You could insert text. If you want fancier text, you can do that as well. You could just go right into typing right on the shape. And the next thing we're going to insert is another shape, but this time it'll be an arrow, a basic arrow. So let's insert our arrow. We could make it as small or as long or as narrow as we want, once again, simply by manipulating these handles. And since in all likelihood, we're going to use the same exact shape and the same exact size and shape and the same exact arrows, size and shape, might as well just copy and paste the same exact shape a few times. Select it, right click, copy, paste. Let's paste a few of them. Since we're creating a time chart or a flow chart or whatever you want to call it, it's up to the student to decide how they want to design it. They could make it go strictly vertical or strictly horizontal, whatever they choose. For the time being, I have a start, and then I'll go to the first event. So right now I'm basically working, I'm starting it off vertically. I could go vertically, then horizontally, I could go diagonally, I could go any way I want. Alright, and then I go right to the second box, the second shape that I inserted, and I'm going to put event number 1. Whatever event number 1 was it the Boston Massacre? Was it the Boston Tea Party? Was it the French Indian War? What event was it that came first that helped lead up to the American Revolution? And since I'm going to be using the same sequence of arrows, or the same arrows, once again I'm going to copy and paste the same arrows. Paste. take my copied arrows and just move them to where I want them. Move my shapes around. Let's say I want to change directions here. I'm going to take this arrow. I'm going to move it here. But notice it's facing, I want it to go in a direction that's to the right. What I may need to do is increase the handles here a little bit so I can see. I'm just moving it over here. This way I can see this is now available to me, this little bubble up here. And this little bubble lets me move the arrow in any direction I want. So I want to move it in this direction. And once again, now that I was pointing it in the direction I want, now I can decrease the size of the arrow once again. Let me put this right here. Okay, so you could just repeat the same exact steps and create a 6 to 7 step little flow chart, little timeline, little time chart, and inside each of these boxes just simply click on the box and type in, say we went from event number 1 to now event number 2. Event number 2. And so on to event number 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so design the flowchart, time chart any way you want. And the last thing I want to show you here is I want to put some animation. So let's say I want to start animating from the very beginning, from the start position. I click on the item I want to animate, in this case the box. Go to animation. Now 2007 is pretty much the same thing, but it's still fairly similar as far as the steps are concerned. Alright, in this case, let me do a fade. You could choose any animation that you want. And notice it gave me a little preview of the box fading in. Okay, so to make this a little bit more appealing, a little bit more interesting, do the same process. Select each box, or anything at all. You could even animate the arrows if you want. Select each box, go to animation, and 2010 is actually easier. You'll see a nice selection of animations that it'll show you what the animation actually looks like. But you follow the same steps and it's the same thing. Fly in, okay? So animate each of these and you'll have a nice interesting little presentation just on one slide, okay? Much more interesting, much nicer than your standard poster board or construction paper. Alright, so any questions at all? So the requirement for American Revolution was to create in one slide a flow chart, an event chart, and in that event chart make sure you animate each of the items. Okay, you could animate anything you want. Alright, we're looking for 6 events that led up to the American Revolution.